That we're all in for some unexpected outcomes. So on the subject of unexpected outcomes, I have something here that I would like to share with you. Certainly a man who became accustomed to unexpected outcomes. The man whose name adorns the very place that we're having our adventure. A man by the name of Diego de Navarra. Now, a few miles from where we're sitting, a logger discovered a weathered metal tube that was several feet buried in the earth. The design of the tube suggested that it may have been a Spanish arquebus. Within the tube, there were the few pages of a logbook. They'd been rolled up, sealed, they'd survived the centuries since they were first written. They ended up in the hands of private collectors, but it's my opinion that they're from the archives of a secret sect of inquisitional monks from 1587 in Arecibo. Ding, Arecibo. With great effort, I've been able to obtain some sections of this document, and I would like to share with you the logbook of Diego de Navarra. It begins thus. I know not how many days we hacked through the dense wood infested with snakes and the tigers of the region and stinging insects, when we spied a man emblazoned with red walking through the woods. As he approached a certain area, he took out a small, round disc and chanted, holding it up to the sky as if to summon an arcane deity. There was a faint green flash, like the sun sinking over the horizon, and before us we beheld a hidden pyramid nested into the woods. Surely this was magic, but for us it meant life. We ran quickly to the pyramid. At the place of the pyramid, we came upon a people who fit the description our patron had given us of the Anaztec people. The Anaztec priests seemed as wise as us, but curiously bore no weapons, believing perhaps that the hidden nature of their city would protect them. There, in a niche sculpted into the black stone, we beheld a totem of gold upon wood, with one god piled atop another. In the forehead of the highest face was embedded the jewel, just as our patron had told us we would find. Anybody thinking prime object? Because I know I am. The priests fell to our swords, and those who did not die were compelled to help us remove the totem. The dying priests shouted imprecations, which I could only guess were curses or warnings, but we did not heed them. We suspected that their warriors would soon return, even though we had arquebuses and crossbows and blades and armor forged by the greatest swordsman of Toledo. We had no stomach to fight either these feared tribal warriors or the female Hellions, for which de Orellana had named the great river. For they were said by our patron to share a bond with this hidden place. We walked with the totem upon our shoulders for nearly a full moon. It was far lighter than we had expected, but still, 2 of our men did fall to exhaustion and the fevers carried by unforgiving insects. A fear that we were being followed never left us. We reached a river, and placing the totem in a large canoe, we went downstream as quickly as possible and made the sea near the seaport town of Paita, which, even as we arrived, was under attack from English corsairs. Using cover of the British attack and its Basques, having no intention to return to Spain to have our treasure acquired at such great cost seized by the greedy nobles, we commandeered a fast, light, armored caravella and forcibly put its crews under our command. As we sailed out, we were simultaneously under fire from the English, our own Spaniards, and later, from the trees and the shore, the female warriors of the neighboring lands. It seems these fierce warriors, too, were enraged by our blasphemy upon this totem and the hidden pyramid. Winds favored us, and we made good our escape. Dogged by an English pirate, we sailed north along the coast, past Panama, and further north in search of a place discovered by the Englishman Drake to gather our wits. Eventually, the English turned back. We passed a great bay and continued north when we were struck by a strange storm of green and blue lightning and frothing tentacles from the sea, which seemed to excite the eye of the totem. The storm dashed our ship against jagged coastal rocks. We beached our ship by the mouth of a river, which our leader, Carlos Piedra Aguda, named after his homeland of Navarre. He told us that he had seen a place for us in one of the many visions he had begun to experience since we acquired the strange totem. After patching the ship and jettisoning all that we did not need, The draft was high enough to move up the river, and reaching a desirable place, we dug a trench, ground the ship to use as a fortress should there be hostiles in the area. We used the totem pole as a masthead because Aguda believed that the jewel should look down upon us. Thus it was that our caravel became not only a fortress, but the center of a village. In short time, natives arrived, and we began to trade with them. For several weeks, our relations with the natives were harmonious, but this began to change. When one of our men, Alvar Cabeza de Coronado, did not return to the ship one night, we began searching for him, and finally found him, his body pierced by several arrows of the type used by the Anaztec people. We realized that we had been followed to this place from far away, and that the Anaztec were inciting the natives against us. The tribal warriors attacked from the water and from the wood in a hail of flaming arrows. Thus ends this segment of the logbook of Diego Navarra. Thank you so much for allowing me to share it, because I believe that it's very poignant for what we are trying to accomplish here today. On that note, with no further ado, I leave you to your mission. Agents, thank you, and I will see you in the field.